I'm just gonna start off with doing the cards. I've been having a lot of different reflections and filming quite a lot of videos actually. Well, that's not true. I mean, maybe 3 or 4 since the last time I posted one, but they're just not collective messages. I have a lot going on energetically, so I'm just gonna kind of wipe this slate clean and start anew with a card reading. I'm gonna do 2 animal oracle spirits, and then I'm gonna do kind of the typical spread that I do, which is current energy, energy to embrace, and energy to release with these guys. And then I'll take the pink tarot and I'll go down the line and clarify. Yeah, and maybe it'll be a short one with that. So let's see what comes out. Yeah, okay, so 2 animals. Otter spirit, you are never alone. 42 or 6. And 6-8, 68, wombat spirit, be at home. 6 and 8 is 14, which reduces down to 5. So we have 6 and 5. Okay, I'm curious. Let's do one more. Dog spirit, be loyal to who you are. Number 19, so 10 or 1. Okay, like true friends, otters nurture each other and express their affection through touch. Actions such as holding hands and giving hugs offer reassurance that we are never really alone and that we are always cherished. Otter spirit has appeared to remind you to experience and express friendship in a tangible and even tactile way. Communicate with your voice, your facial expressions, your gestures, and your actions, letting your love express itself beyond just the words you speak. Otter spirit's message is that presence matters, so remember to be fully present with those that you care about, helping them to sense the love and affection and appreciation that you have for them. Now is a time for a joyful celebration of the love in your life that expresses as friendship and companionship. Hug someone, touch their arm, or simply look into their eyes with your full attention, saying, I care and you matter. Make time for friendship. Otter spirit promises that the moment you reach out, you will remember that you too have many who love and care about you. You are never alone and you are always loved. The protection message says, have you been channeling all your affection to just one person or counting on only one friend or individual to hold you up, heedless of your resources all around you? You deserve support and love from many people, and when Otter Spirit arrives, you are reminded that you have a community. Somewhere is another friend who wants to experience the joy of giving to you and seeing your happiness as you receive their gift of attention, affection, and kindness. Otter Spirit wants you to be open, wants you to open your eyes to see the love that is available to you from all directions. Do you believe it? Do you feel it? Reach out to someone and you will see that they want to hold your hand as much as you want to hold theirs. Love, support, and friendship are available to you, so connect with community and friends. Yeah, I mean, I also always interpret that as like you are never alone in the sense that you're seen by the universe. And you can always it's very easy. It's very accessible. If we're overwhelmed or unable, we feel like we're unable to handle what it is that we have to handle as a human in our lives. Just surrendering it, you could be deeply into prayer and meditation and all of it, or not at all. Just saying I trust that God in the universe, you know what's on my mind and in my heart and weighing me down. And I'm saying, I want to surrender it to you and have help with this. And just opening yourself up to that and including a little bit of belief that allows you to unburden yourself of the things that you feel like you're solely responsible for handling in life. But of course, I mean, what the guidebook said as well with actual connections. All right, I'm going to just move right down the line. Wombat spirit says, be at home. Burrowing deep into the ground, remaining safe, sound, and well-fed with family is a special trait of the wombat. Home sweet home is always available if you recognize that well-being is the truth of life. Wombat spirit reminds you that to be truly at home in the world, you need to find comfort within your own skin. You do this by accepting all your experience without judgment through a deep honesty of love of life. When you feel the freedom to be yourself, you can begin to truly feel at home in your life with your family and tribe. Right now, you're in a beautiful place where you can hang up the coat of your identity and settle into a true sense of home and well-being, understanding that all is well. Everything you do from this place rings true in harmony with spirit. Could it be that you're not feeling comfortable in your own skin, thinking that the only way you can be with others is to hide under the protection of a mask or identity you created to protect yourself from getting hurt? This mask or persona is supposed to make you look strong, but it really just robs you of your integrity. Wombat Spirit arrives to nudge you to drop the false masks, because it is not others who will hurt you now. It is you who are hurting yourself when you are not being authentic. It's okay though, you can course correct if you are willing to be yourself no matter what comes. Even if others are not in agreement with your authenticity, you are safe with spirit. And then just to add on to that interpretation, I would also take it into the direction of knowing that when there's so many different energetic things changing right now that feel destabilizing, there's a sense of home within our inner landscape that we can return to that doesn't have to do with like, it's very hard to, if there's deep periods of transformation and transition, to find something outside of ourselves where it's like, I'm still at home here, even if it's like a mindset, just feeling the need for that. Okay, dog. Be loyal to what you love. Dog Spirit appears to remind you that although change is part of life and all of us are meant to evolve, our love and commitments remain strong. You are loved now and can trust that this higher love is true. Spirit loves you, and love has arrived in many forms, manifesting in the people you surround yourself with, expressed uniquely through them. Dog Spirit also says to be true to that which you love, for now is a time of good fortune. Be steady as you recognize that people and things are always transforming. Your heart is loving and true, and Dog Spirit wants you to know that your steadfast commitment to experiencing and expressing love will attract and manifest more love. You deserve all of it. Have faith in Spirit's plan for you. Protection message says, loyalty to people and situations can turn into attachment that results in stagnation, enmeshment, and loss of integrity. Do you fear what will happen if you let a relationship evolve? Are you afraid that asking for a situation to change will make others see you as disloyal? Trust that when Dog Spirit appears, you are meant to accept the turning of the wheel of life and the changing of fortunes. If you feel you are being betrayed or are growing apart from someone, let Dog Spirit reconnect you with your commitment to love in all forms. Perhaps a relationship is meant to evolve. Perhaps you are meant to evolve too, so that you can experience the growth for which your soul yearns. Your greatest loyalty is to love, so be open to all its many guises, including self-love. You deserve the best, and that is what Spirit wants for you. Another message I'm getting with this is that there's a lot of potential right now for people to manifest more aligned paths in life. It could be through relationships and partnerships, but it could also be through like the love we have to the things we commit ourselves to. Ideally, in a beautiful world, people love the things that they have to do in order to make money. But that's not always the case. But I'm sensing and feeling and personally undergoing and all other sorts of things. There's this shift into realizing a lot of people want to be doing things that are more aligned with what they love and can passionately, easily commit to. And the good news is the energy supports that. There's a lot of really I shared that thing on the community page with the coffee. That's one of like several examples. Like in my own little world, I'm like, yeah, it's very on fire right now. The ability to just kind of call in new things. If it's a bag of coffee or a new career. So shuffle these really quickly. Got the Three of Swords on the bottom. And then on the 13th, I believe on Monday, is that right? We have our new moon in Scorpio. Which is going to be a pretty deep moon. Maybe it's on the 15th. I'll have to look into that. Oh, there's also, is it Mercury in Libra and Venus in Scorpio? I'll have to check into the actual astrological shifts that have taken place recently. But I do know that whatever's happening with Venus and Mercury is exalting this window for different kinds of communication that have to do with relationship, matters of the heart. Okay. Current energy. We have Four of Swords. Energy to embrace, we have the Emperor. And energy to release, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So this card was in our energy to embrace position from the reading that I did the other day. So I guess we've embraced it and now it's our current energy. But with energy to embrace, I'm seeing these as like a couplet, right? So he is preparing to be more like this in this time. And I like that because it feels like the word that pops up is efficiency. Efficiency. When it comes to rest and meditation, there's a lot of times when it's not a good time to go within and think because you're just swirling around in circles. And that's not what this is. The thought, the contemplation, there's a channel for it to move into, and that is a more embodied, empowered version of self. So we're embracing that idea as we lean into it and like think on how we're feeling. And I also am getting that this is tying into the messages that just came through with the animal spirit cards, as in like, well, I mean, it talked about like loyalty and commitments, but also being authentic and not wearing like masks. Like I think a good rule of thumb, be it a friendship, a relationship, a job, like a question, good question is like, is it for you? Well, how much do you have to filter yourself? How much do you have to filter the way that you would speak to your absolute, best friend in the world? If you're doing a lot of filtering down of like the things that you're genuinely compelled to say and do and think, then it's not a very good fit, because in order to feel like you're gonna do what's expected out of you, if it's somebody else's expectations or your own or whatever, if you're changing the way that you would naturally behave, then it's not resonant with you. So we're kind of like thinking about what's resonant on a deeper level. And it's not just like, do I like it or not? It's like a step further than that with the Emperor energy, because it's about I don't know what that means. Affixing? It's about, okay, right. So there's been a lot of transits throughout the course of the summer with Emperor energy and feeling more like embodied and empowered with regard to many things in our lives. But this is more about embodiment when it comes to the self. So it's fixing or starting to solidify, like something like cement when they pour it, right? It's starting to harden. And like if a little kid comes along and draws a heart in the cement, that fixes. What am I trying to say? Is there a word for this? Affixes? Fixative? That will forever remain. That impression that they carved into the wet cement will be there. So it's almost like the Four of Swords is representing this, going back through different things and taking things out of the wet cement before it dries, or making pretty shapes in it, whatever you want. But it's more of a solid transition now because of the energy, the point of the calendar that we're in, a number of reasons where it's less so about Emperor energy when it pertains to this or that. It's more about ourselves, our whole like identity. So that's a good thing. What are we thinking about with releasing Nine of Pentacles? Well, for every reason that I just talked about, like thinking about identity and self and like what we want to be committed to, what we're not sure we want to be committed to anymore, that's taking place internally. It's going to filter out and be manifested in our expression of self going forward. So we're not so much focused on this pre-Empress stability of material things. I mean, this card for me is always about gratitude and counting your blessings and being appreciative of every last little 444. Every last little bit of stability and abundance that you do have evidence of in front of you, being grateful for that and amplifying it so that we can cultivate more of it, not by doing anything, but just by exuding a frequency that shows the universe what you want more of. So it's basically about the inner work right now and less about the external environment and how that's looking. Bottom of the deck is going to be the hidden energy, and the top of the deck is going to be advice. Justice. What's the advice? The Five of Swords. 4, 5. So these are, I mean, they're not similar energies. They're kind of similar. We'll talk about it. Hidden energy being justice. What's a clarifier for that? Cut the deck. Hanged Man. Yeah. So where we haven't been able to make choices or do things, there will be not consequences, but outcomes anyway. So what I'm getting off of this card is that if there's been immobility or stagnancy in certain things that the universe is understanding are part of, you know, other people's puzzle pieces or the interconnected nature of all the elements of your own life, you know, the edges of what you touch and control. There's certain things that are connected right now where there are certain parts of our situations that are moving without our consent because it's within, like, I want to say judgment. I know this is justice, but I'm just kind of sensing that in the hidden position, it has to do with things that, like, we didn't consent to. And that's not a bad thing because it has to do with the different kinds of reflections on self that we've had throughout the course of the fall and the summer. It's more so like, if there have been certain things that you wished would change, they are. But with Hanged Man and Justice, those are kind of different energies, right? Because Justice is assuring an outcome. And I mean, it could literally have to do with things of legal nature in your physical world, like court stuff and contracts or signing on a new lease of something. It'll move forward. But with Hanged Man, it's like, maybe not at the time you think, maybe not in the way that you expected. And let me get a clarifier for the outcome of that since I'm talking about it. Ace of Wands. A new opportunity and something good. So we're happy with that. But I want to come back here. Okay. So this is the advice. And this card, I mean, I talk about him sometimes as being like out of the game and also kind of like not understanding why he's so down and out. But it can represent competition and not understanding that a lot of the times our own dissatisfaction with our circumstances and how we project it onto other people or think about fault, it does have a lot more to do with us, even if we don't want to think that. If you can trace, you know, the origin of the issue that we're dealing with all the way back, there will be some type of thread of accountability in there somewhere where we can understand that we had a part in something. I mean, it's very hard to talk about these things in generalizations, but with this card, it's kind of like, I don't really like his term, but like butthurt. What's a better, more mature, sophisticated way to say butthurt? It's not coming to me, but if we're just like a little sour about a certain thing right now, this is advice. So it's telling us to lean into that and take a closer look at how we're feeling about what it is we're not feeling good about and why that is. Let me get a secondary card of advice for the Five of Swords. It's the Hermit. Yeah, I mean, solitude and self-reflection again. To figure out why we're not engaged with others, right? He is alone. His chin's in his hand. He's like thinking about it. And I mean, it's like they are over here. It's kind of like the Two Cups in the Five of Cups card where they're full and they're behind the guy and he doesn't see them. This is kind of how that is. It's almost like he's acting like there's nowhere to go, but there's two people right here, and he could just as easily bring all of his 5 swords over and be like, guys, I have some extra swords. Do you want to sword fight with me? So I'm putting those away. I'm going to put these away. And I'm going to clarify current energy. Ah, we saw that earlier, the 3 of Swords. Energy to embrace. Ah, we love it. It's the 6 of Wands. Energy to release, the Queen of Cups. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, this current energy is getting stranger and stranger. It seems like there's something, again, like we're not totally happy with, or if we are in this space of contemplation, it's revealing things that make us feel bad. Sometimes that happens. It doesn't mean that it's all bad. It just means that we're feeling a certain kind of way, and we need to sit with that. And the Hermit card coming out again with the 5 of Swords and the 4 of Swords, and now the 3 of Swords. I mean, think about it. 3, 4, 5, it's all swords, and they're ascending numerologically. So with the Hermit energy being kind of the odd man out from that, 3, 4, 5, all swords, and the Hermit, it's like there's a process to your discomfort that we're not consciously aware of, but it will give way to what needs to happen right now, even if it's not the most comfortable emotionally. The 6 of Wands, clarifying the Emperor, is our successful, victorious, returning to the village after the, the wreath, the wars won type deal. I just think that adds even more incentive and motivation to continue cleaning up loose ends and having like closer looks at the things that we're like, I mean, like we look out into the world or our lives or whatever we're doing, and it's like, great, 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 not so great. Not so great. What is it? What is the stuff that's not so great right now? And how do we move through that in a space of honesty? Okay, and there's also something about like, there's layers of honesty when it comes to, you can only do what you're available. We all are working with the current amount of knowledge that we possess at any given moment, okay? So I'm not really sensing that these are issues in our lives that there's like big secrets or pockets of illusion or concealed information. It's more so about, and with that 5 of Swords energy, I think us having lied to ourselves. It's not that we don't have all the information, but it has to do with making sure that we understand how we're equipped to change something, even if we think we can't, based on our own perception of an event or situation. So to say that a little bit more simply, I think that the current energy is about having an assessment of the things or the areas or the people of our lives that still aren't feeling like they're gelling together in a way that's supporting this like successful, stable, motivated, and like wonderful version of ourselves. I'm going to shuffle out a card to clarify this energy. What do we have for this 3, 4, 5 of Swords with the Hermit current energy? Okay. It's the 10 of Cups. So, I mean, these are pretty opposite energies, right? No love, heartbroken. It's all done. All 3 swords are going through the heart. But 10 of Cups is like bundle of joy vibes, very fulfilled. And again, it's the swords to the cups. So I think what we're reasoning through right now, it ultimately has to do with contemplating our connection to the people in our lives. And like the Otter card said, it's not just, romantic types of connections. We have fulfillment and emotional pleasure, you could say, with the other kinds of connections in our lives too. And so I'm seeing a central point, and then all the ties that come into it, like all your cords, all your connections, all of the ways that you extend yourself to family members, to friends, to people that you work with, to the people that you're in a relationship with. It's just giving me the energy and the idea that not all of those connections are worth our while. And now, okay, so this manifested personally for me in a situation, not that I'm like cutting people off, but I've been just in a private space lately. Has to do with doing the hypnotherapy session and how tired that made me, and how many days it's taken for me to, I'm continuing to work through that. That's why I've been recording videos, but not posting them, because I just need to do it the way I'm doing it right now. But I just feel that within the energy, it's like a very sacred personal space. And it's almost, to me, it's like in all my free time, it's not like I'm saying no to everybody who calls me and asks me to hang out, but I'm not seeking any opportunities right now, because I know that in any of my free time, I don't want just noise. I don't want anything that's not going to be of benefit. So I'm really minding my, the gaps in my schedule and when I can just come back to myself, because it's like being asleep. When you're asleep and your conscious mind shuts off, your body can, heal a little bit and relax and recalibrate. So if we think about the flow of energy, wanting to be in equilibrium, and this is an Abraham Hicks thing where they say, like, there's just flow. If you're not getting what you want in life, it's not because there's no flow, it's because you're stopping the flow. Our natural state of being is allowing the energy to flow and create stasis and abundance within our lives. But there are so many things in place now where we mentally, or, literally, we're stopping those elements from naturally moving through our lives. And so for me, it's like when I'm alone and I'm just chilling, there's nothing to throw off that flow. I can continue to stay very grounded and let the energy move through in the way that I need to. And so that periods of time like this where the energy feels like, number one, we can manifest a lot right now. I'm just shooting all this stuff out into the future that I want. I'm thinking about it. I'm feeling it. It's feeling good. Anything that doesn't, I'm having to do a little bit of course correction with some other things right now, but that's all good, right? Because it's leading to our victory and our success. So even if it's not to the extent of being like, maybe I don't want this friend group or marriage, or maybe I don't want to be joined at the hip with this person in the way that we have been for the past 10 years. Who knows? Whatever it is, it's about attaining emotional fulfillment. And the other message that I'm hearing right now is that these things this might only pertain to just a couple people who watch this video, but they're mutually exclusive. So if you have been resonating with this portion of the message, I'm saying there might have been a period of time where we're thinking, or we're wondering, or we're hoping that we can like have our cake and eat it too in some ways. And there's something within this where it's like, we think that, and we think that's what we're working on achieving, but we're really just prolonging the inevitable around some type of release that we don't want to have to do or look at. Again, going back to the trail of events that lead to a situation, maybe not having seen a certain part of that, cascade of things. Therefore, not really understanding the way it's affecting our lives, or even why it's a part of our lives in the first place. And then pushing for this somehow, but not having done the release that needs to happen in order for this to come in. Yeah. All right. Well, I like it to be even, so I will shuffle to get a clarifier for the Emperor and the Six of Wands too, in the energy to embrace. What else can we add to that? Because we're shedding skin. It's the Death card. I mean, you can't really, it's pretty clear, like I said before, it's not about like Emperor energy being this thing that we're calling upon to help us ask for a raise or something, you know what I mean? It's a fully embodied, I said, I was trying to say something about fixing the cement, right? It's one of the biggest transformations of the year, in fact. Personally, the one that's underway right now, we have the opportunity to transform, like quantum leap, if you will, make a lot more change in a shorter amount of time, but it doesn't take more effort. It's just divinely supported. So the change is longer lasting and it's better for us, right? If we move in the way that the energy is asking us to, in terms of like release and reconsidering and making space for better aligned fits, better aligned things to fit into our lives. Yeah. And then we've got the Queen of Cups here. Very, very interesting, because why would we want to release this at all, you know, ever? Queen of Cups. She's the maternal, loving queen. And then the Nine of Pentacles is this kind of also luxurious and abundant card. So let's get a clarifier for them. My intuitive read is going back to how I was saying, like, you know, maybe we're not out in the garden tending to our abundance because we're going through a little bit more of a transformative period that doesn't require that right now. So how does the Queen of Cups fit into that? We'll see. Oh, that was immediate. I want to get another one because it didn't feel like a true flip. Clarify Nine of Pentacles and Queen of Cups. Clarify them. Okay. All right, well, I've got 3 cards, so this will get interesting now. Very weird. Okay. I'm going to take everything else off so we can talk about this. All right. Nine of Pentacles. Queen of Cups. But then the Knight and the King of Swords came out. As well as the Devil. And again, this is in our energy to release position. So this is kind of funny because how I'm interpreting this is that the cards were like, here it is. This is your release position. And I was like, I don't get it. Tell me again. And they were like, okay, do. If you didn't get this, then maybe you'll get this. Because I'm reading it as similar energies. Why? Because we got a Knight. I'm seeing that as the Nine of Pentacles. It's like a lesser energy. And then we've got the King. And we got the Queen. So it's just re-emphasizing the message. Now, obviously, all 4 of these are very, very different energies. But that's the first thing that popped into my head. So, Another thing, okay, another thing that I'm getting, this is a really good energy to be in order to manifest things, right? Gratitude, being loving, being open with your heart, being kind of like in control of your own emotional experience and understanding that you are most fulfilled when you're being honest with how you're feeling, because when we're not, we can't remedy that in any way. And the issues tend to compound themselves. And so in the release position, I'm getting that it's not the best time to go about. Okay, right. Bear with me, okay? All right. It's almost like, yes, it's a great time to manifest, but what are you doing when you're manifesting? The message is, don't resort to force for things that haven't happened naturally or yet. That's the message. because these two things are like, you know, now fast moving, and like the power of being decisive and wielding that power, this is release. We're not in this mode of charging forward and using a sword to change the physical environment. That's not what we're doing. And I'm also kind of getting the sense that with this great energy to manifest in, there's this cautionary thing around self-sabotage too. So it's like when we're inclined to force things to happen because we don't see things changing in the way that we want or expect or need, and that can create anxiety, right? Or questions around like, well, I have to, like, we can't just sit around and wait for divine timing. Our life, I mean, that's ideally what you do. You go with the flow, and then things happen when they happen. And we're a part of that as co-creators and stuff, and our decision making and all that. But when your human agency runs out to contribute to a circumstance, and you want to go in and try to kind of finagle things for your own benefit, or to match the expectation that you subconsciously or consciously kind of had about a certain thing, and we can't do that, or we get resistance, then we can slip into these self-sabotaging like energies around, well then fuck it. Like if anybody, like, you know, when are the points in time when people want to just forget everything, you know, and get belligerently drunk or whatever it is? It's like when people kind of get to that, like, F it, I don't care, that's when they want to get effed up. Okay, so I'm not saying that that's all devil energy, but there is something that is fearful in trying to control things too tightly. And so the first layer of this is like, yes, it's great to be grateful and count your blessings and appreciate the forms of abundance that are currently present in your life. But then we have to release the expectation around it and let that be enough right now, because I think that there's potential to kind of get in our own way through our mindset, because I don't think that we're gauging correctly how things are going to click into place. I mean, we really can't know how things are going to click into place with the certain things that are shifting right now. Give me a clarifier for that. Forcing, letting things happen, just the current energy there. Well, the energy to release, really. That one wanted to jump out, but all right, what are these two? Are you kidding me? I forgot that I put these back in the deck, okay? Five of Swords and the Hermit popped back out together. That's kind of weird. I wish that you could have seen, because it was an authentic shuffle. You know, I didn't pull these. But that just lets me know, yeah, if we're sitting around waiting for something to show up, it's like tying a carrier pigeon to a roost and waiting for it to deliver the mail. You have to go untie it in order for it to come around and deliver the thing. So there's definitely something to be worked through in our own heads and hearts on our own time without the influence of other people. Now, you can get input and advice and stuff, but it has, like, my point in saying that is that no one's going to know the answer except for you, your intuition. You can always ask your higher self and your spirit guides to reveal information through your dreams to you about things that you're uncertain about. Oh, and then I meant to say this, but I recorded a reading. It was the one before the hypnotherapy one. And I was talking about how there are things that have happened in our lives and they're actually not really that big of a deal. I don't think that was the best way to say that. And I don't want for anybody to have heard that and think that, like, certain things aren't a big deal. I know that things happen and that they are a very big deal. I also am not somebody who has ever lost a loved one. I'm very lucky for that. Nobody who's close to me has ever passed away. And I know that some people have had that. Multiple people in their lives whom they care for die. The only reason why I said that is because it has to do more with the message around the fact that time does go on, and we show ourselves when we go through hard things what we're capable of overcoming. So I just wanted to clarify that. And another thing, this is like totally random, and I don't know why Queen of Cups is left. If you did watch the video that I recorded, the most recent one that's been uploaded about the quantum hypnotherapy healing session that I did, I was having a very strange understanding in my continued processing of that experience around the part of it where I was in a rainforest and I was having this like weird glitch in my conscious mind and my lucidity of it. And there was like a metacognition of the conscious mind watching myself hear the guidance and still kind of like cling to the visualization that my brain was offering me, being led through this regression of sorts. And so I talked about like looking at my body, having it be a different body than my current physical body in this life. And then because I was kind of lucid and conscious of that, it became harder to like move the feet one after another. And then when I slipped back into a more trance-like state, I was navigating that realm easily because I didn't have to think about it. My guides were telling me that just like it was when I did this sort of out-of-body astral projection in April of 2021, and there's a video way back in the history if you want to go watch that, because I talk about it at length. It's called Stories from the Astral, and it was recorded a while ago now. But the experiences that I had when I was in that dream or whatever was going on were very similar in that it had to do with strengthening the muscle of understanding how density works in different dimensions. And so in that dimension, again, like the astral, the spirit realm, there's no density for the manifestations to pass through. So they were putting me into different situations where I was collapsing manifestations, because as soon as you realize that it's something that you are partaking in, that's why you're seeing it, then you can collapse it. I was doing that in order to get the sense of being able to do that better in the third dimensional reality, because you still can immediately collapse things and immediately manifest things on the same level, but then it has to do with maintaining that until the passage of time supports the physical manifestation of the thing. So anyway, I just wanted to share that because it was a cool parallel, where I also talked about how in like one of the past life regressions, and I was in Asia, there was like angels that had flown out to the sides, and then in the subsequent following visions, all my guides, angels, they were in back of me. They also told me, like, think about your life as you move and navigate in your waking life very similarly to that when we were behind you and you were in this more of like an avatar space where you're like, okay, I'm conscious. Where am I? What am I doing? They were telling me, think of your waking life as Mariah like that. Because you knew when I was under the hypnosis, I knew that I could do anything or go anywhere. And every new setting and scene had its own like instructions. Like in that one, for instance, I was like, I'm looking for a tree. I know that we are, and we'll know it when we find it. But like our ability to kind of bring more of this like instant manifestation, miracle potential into this reality, especially when the buffer around instant manifestation is getting smaller. They just wanted to remind me of that. And I just wanted to share. Let's see what this card is, because it just fell out and I wanted to ask for, outcome energy. Now that's a chancy thing in tarot. I don't really think we should call it outcome energy. Oh no, incoming. Let's talk about that. So in addition to that 3, 4, 5 of swords, the hermit energy, we know the energy to embrace was the 6 of wands, that kind of like victory and success that we're building towards in some domain or on all of them. I tend to think it's just a better situation in all domains of life coming in that we're solidifying as the cement dries. All right, incoming. Great. Conflict. No. All right, clarify incoming. King of Pentacles. All right. Not to go on for too long, but basically it's like these could be hard conversations, differing ideals, differing opinions that lead to the whole thing around too many cooks in the kitchen. It doesn't take that many people. This makes me think of never mind. Yeah, I'm going to scrap that. But okay. Sometimes there are multiple people in a situation, and it's not that you need to get rid of the people, but it has to do with the way that people understand communication, what healthy communication is, and what they're communicating. And so any of the disagreements or tension filled, more conflicting energies within our lives, and I do think this is more so, you know, the swords and the current energy before were more pertaining to our inner selves and stuff like that, but this I'm feeling does have to do with other people, and it's clarified by the King of Pentacles. So it's like, just know that the direction that those hard conversations lead you in is more stability. Another clarifier. Yeah, I think that we can feel confident in knowing that by moving through kind of like the spaces that aren't aligned, I'm going back to the 3 and the 4 and the 5 of Swords, reassessing these points of contention to try to make things flow better, blah, blah, blah. When we make these changes, when we have these conversations, when we choose, it doesn't even have to be about engaging. You could also just choose to not engage. That could be what you're needing to do. Maybe you're always engaging. Maybe the people who, like, I don't know, I'm just seeing some type of like toxic thing. We've all been in them. It's not a judgment thing, but it's just like sometimes there's too many people involved and you're a part of it. And it doesn't matter what you say or do because there's just so much, like, who knows, history and, you know. And so the best option for you is to remove yourself from that so that you can work on what it is you want to work on and build your stability. And did I not shuffle these? We'll see what these are. If these are cards that are, no, these are the same cards. And we have 6 of Cups here too. These are all the ones from the reading, but then 6 of Cups is the only one that slid off the top that is not from the reading. So again, it feels pipe cleaner, chimney sweep. We're like getting rid of all the gunk. I would never call people gunk, but it could be people in our lives that we just kind of don't resonate with anymore. Or, I mean, as always, ways of thinking, ways of being. It's very clarifying though. Like how when you eat a mint and then you go, and it's really cold. That's what's happening right now. It's like this nice, like cool passage of like streamlining things and doing that for more stability. So with that, I recorded a quick reading. It's not the quickest, but it's not the longest. That's all I've got time for today. So I hope everybody's doing well and enjoy. For me, this energy's been very dreamy and very like inquisitive. And I think this has to do with just personal things that I'm going through right now. But a lot of just really like divine and beautiful inspiration just like coming into my mind. I don't know right now, based on what I'm acclimating to, if that can be said for the collective. I would imagine, I mean, in times like this, we do tend to get a lot more, you know, ideas and stuff. So on that note, if you do get certain visions or dreams or like a spark of inspiration, then do trust that that is coming to you for a reason. These things that we get inspired to do and stuff, and maybe it's like, well, there's no way to make money off of that, or no one's going to care. Like, these are the types of things where that's devil energy. Like, don't think that way about these things. Trust that when you get an idea, it has to do with what the universe is wanting to bring into your life, even if it's just the tip of an iceberg of a thing that could pan out in a while. And the nature of those types of ideas anyway is that, I mean, they say this, like if you don't accept it, then it will move on to the next person and they'll try to pop it into someone else's head. Or if it's specifically meant for you and your journey and what it is that you're doing, it'll come back around at a later time. And then you'll be like, yeah, I do want to do this. Why didn't I start 5 years ago? So listen to those impulses right now. And that's it. Have a great weekend. And if I don't, oh no, I will. I'll come back on and I'll do another reading on the full moon. Okay, bye.